This program is brought to you by Harvey Norman, for everything you need in furniture, bedding, electrical and technology.
Thank you very much. Welcome to Boat Rockers here in Springvale, which is in Melbourne, and we're here to celebrate everything, not just about this area, but of course the city in general. The only way we are able to go and hang out with the people who make the channel possible and support us as beautifully as you do, and again, thank you from everyone who's at Sky News, is thanks to the good people of Harvey Norman. I am so thankful for their support, but also I love their particular support of female sport. It means that people like my little girls get to have the opportunity to watch future athletes like I did as a kid. Thankfully, they're coordinated, so they may well actually have more hope than I did as a kid. For the first time in nearly 20 years, this year's AFL Grand Final saw two non-Victorian teams battle it out for the game's ultimate prize. It just shows how truly national this sport has become. And while Sydney were the ones that were out there on the big stage, they're not the only club from New South Wales which has gone from strength to strength in recent years. The Greater Western Sydney Giants had been to a grand final, but this year it was not for them. They came up a goal short 2 games in a row during the finals. But it was another very strong year for the AFL's newest club, thanks to the support of our mates at Harvey Norman. The Giants have been in 7 of the past 13 final series. Now that's important because the club's only been around for 13 years. And what a season 2024 was.
The Giants are in front! Unbelievably, the Giants are in front. Giants will not be denied.
The Giants' success is really noticed in Sydney. It is something that you feel particularly when you talk to their fans.
As you can see here today, pre-game, we've got kids, we've got parents, we've got families, we've got fans from all over Western Sydney coming along to support us, and they've been supporting us ever since day dot. And I guess the important thing is, through tough times, they stuck, I guess, solid, and today they're here now to celebrate the glory of finals once again. Get involved because we're authentic, and partners such as Harvey Norman, everyone that gets involved, we love to run programs that put smiles on people's faces.
Just because the men are done for the year doesn't mean footy is gone. In fact, it's time to turn our attention to the women of the game. The Giants AFLW team are halfway through their season and just took on their crosstown rivals, the Swans, on Sunday. This is the 8th season for the Giants women's team, so we caught up with one of their stars, Nicola Barr, to talk about what the AFLW means to future generations of AFL fans.
Even if they play different sports, you know, all of a sudden they've got an AFLW player there and they get to understand what the sport's all about. And I think a lot of them are here at games, and again, like, more and more numbers coming to games is so amazing. We love hanging out with the girls once we finish playing and getting an opportunity to interact and say hi. And I think the more games we have here in Sydney, the more it's going to grow.
The Giants have a vision to turn Western Sydney into an AFL heartland, and it is happening every year, thanks to the support of our dear friends at Harvey Norman and a legion of fans who love their footy. We love and good luck to the Giants. About to mention women's game next year. Now, speaking of the AFL, regardless if he's playing in it, there is one man who you will always see on the biggest day in September. There is nowhere in Australia that I would rather be in last Saturday in September than here in Melbourne. The AFL Grand Final is the Saturday. There's a public holiday. Thank you, Daniel Andrews. The day before, and of course there's our town right now, but you're already watching it. But of course, in and around a sport that has so much history, there is a particular tradition which is 45 years old this year. I think we all know this song off by heart. Since 1979, Mike Brady has been performing the song that he wrote and made world famous. Well, at least football world famous. Up there, Kazali, the story of a plucky young lad going as hard as he possibly can. It's been sung from clubs to ballrooms to the MCG and let's be honest, you're humming it right now. Mike, thank you so much for talking to us today. There's very few things that last in culture. The fact that this song has lasted, but also remains as prominent as it does from functions to pubs to the MCG. What's its cultural staying power? Why do you think that it's not just something dads remember?
Well, it's got to do with dads and mums, because I think when I did it all those years ago in 1945, I think dads loved it, and it was one demographic really, probably 25-year-old dads, as they were younger in those days, sociologically speaking, but they passed it on to their sons, who've now passed it on to their sons. So it's become like a hand-me-down song. I've never used that before, hand-me-down, because it's been passed down the line. And my biggest thrill is like at the grand final parade, there's all these young kids, little kids going, America's alien, like stuff. And I mean, they're like 5 and 6 years old, and they're there with their dads, and I remember some of them from the first time I did it, which was 25 years ago, not even 45. So it's just one of those things that the public kind of taken an ownership in it, and I'm very proud of that.
But also, I love that literally this year, Katy Perry, previously, Kiss, Meatloaf, whatever, but you're there each and every year. As the sport tries to sort of always add that extra element of showbiz or the rest of it, to have somebody who has the tradition, have you seen things change over the years about the setup where, what used to be sort of a microphone and the PA system is now an actual concert? It
was pretty agricultural the first year I did it with John Farnham. I was sort of an afterthought because he was booked to do it. And that was in 79, as I said. But the change, technologically, it's amazing. I mean, the science. But you know what? It breaks down more. There are more technical problems because there's more technology.
More moving parts.
That's right, exactly. It's like getting, I won't mention a brand, but certain brands, you have to be a car enthusiast to buy a new one. It's like that with production. The crowds have changed. They're more confident, the crowds. They're always outgoing and very warm towards me. But we've come a long way, this city and Sydney and around Australia. Our people are more confident now than they were 40 years ago. And I know you're a bit of a student of that stuff because I watch you, but but it's a wonderful thing. And for me, it's just a really warm feeling to be known, even if it is for only one song.
Who cares?
Who cares?
Who cares? And just finally, is it thousands of times you performed it? Do you have any sense of how many times you've actually belted it out?
Well, I tried to do that. I know how many times I've done it this year, and it's about 700 times. You've got to count rehearsals in that. So I reckon that puts it up at about 20,000. So I almost know the words. But I've just done a show in here, and I got the words wrong. I got the words round the wrong way. I still do it.
but hopefully, if the crowd's loud enough, you can fluff it and go over the top.
Exactly. And they're my words. I can plagiarise myself.
Correct. You have to pay yourself royalties for a whole new song. Lovely to see you, Mike.
Great to see you, Paul.
Take care.
Great to see you.